sum up 8 days in 85% humidity with 33,309 other people, but we'll take a stab at it. What we've asked them to share is just something that was significant to them in just 1 to 2 minutes. So I just wanted to offer a word of explanation. You'll see a couple of different kinds of shirts just to give you some background about what actually happened that week. We went a little early. The actual program started Wednesday with opening worship in the Superdome, where we ended every evening. And then Thursday, Friday, and Saturday were our kind of programmatic days. Our first day was Practice Justice. So a third of everybody who was there, so around 11,000 people, were doing justice projects, meaning they were gathered together at the Superdome for an opening worship and then sent out into the community to different places. We got to go to the 9th Ward, and I'm sure you'll hear a little bit in the stories about what happened. There will also be other times of sharing in the future for more specific kind of day-by-day and pictures and that sort of thing. But everybody on their Practice Justice Day wore these orange t-shirts, and it was pretty incredible to be walking down the street with literally thousands of people all headed to the Superdome in one direction wearing these bright orange t-shirts. You don't hide very well in that sort of situation. And then, so once we got into the Superdome that night, a third of everybody in the dome was wearing these shirts, and so it was pretty incredible to see. The green shirts were our group specifically, which seems like a great idea until you realize that at least an eighth of everybody had the same great idea to have bright green shirts for their group. Although it is much easier to count, the first day we all just kind of wore whatever we had brought to wear. It became a lot harder to count everybody if they weren't matching. So we didn't lose anybody, so it was still okay. But the bright green shirts are our trip shirts for our group, and then the orange ones are our Practice Justice shirts. So that's what you're seeing here. And I will just let our group come up and share a little bit about their experience and what they saw and heard from God. And maybe, as you heard in the song, that was our theme song for the gathering, written by Rachel Kurtz. And that was kind of the goal, is how are we going to let what we experience change us, and how are we going to take it back to our communities, to impact our communities. So that's hopefully what we'll hear a little bit about. Completely unscripted, so we'll see.
Hi. So going into this experience, I really didn't know what to expect or anything. I'd heard about the gathering and what it would be like, but I was more concerned about the weather and sweating all the time. But I don't know, the first day I was kind of wrapped up into sweating, but then after that, seeing all the people and realizing that everyone was there for the same reason, and not for themselves, but to worship God and to be there to learn about God and what they're put on this earth to do. And it was just amazing. And just being in the Superdome, having all those people singing and having the music just fill the Superdome, and just seeing everybody just getting into it. The speakers were awesome. But one of the things that I realized is that the things that changed me or shaped me in my faith, I didn't realize until after the experience was over. And so the 9th Ward was a big thing, because the people down there had a lot of hope in what we were doing and in where they were. And I think if something as big as that were to happen to me, I don't think I would go back to the 9th Ward. So it was amazing to see that they did go back and they're proud of where they are. But one of the biggest things for me was the flash flood, and I don't remember what day that was, but Friday, and we had to walk 45 minutes in it, and so we saw it, the water just rising on the ground, and the amazing thing for me was that even though it's scary that we were in a flood, and we don't really see floods here that much, like we did there, that everyone in our group just kept such a positive attitude and didn't think about how it could be scary and how it could be life-threatening. And everyone just kept laughing and having fun in the rain and getting wet, and just strengthening their faith together, knowing that God is with us and that He's gonna help us get through it was amazing. So that was one of the biggest things for me.
Maybe start by introducing yourself. Well, we know you.
My name's Lauren, and I went on the trip, and I think on Tuesday it was one of the hottest days, and we're kind of like, why did we come here? Because it was so hot there, and we're all like walking around. And then Wednesday when we went there, and there was just so many people in the Superdome, and he said, this is why I came here, to strengthen my faith with 309,000 people, and I don't know, but and that's why we went on that trip to do that, and there was that many people there to do the same thing that we were there to do, and just meeting the people of New Orleans, to how much we impacted their lives just coming there for a few days, and it was good to see that what we were doing was actually changing people, and that we were impacting people's lives in New Orleans. And so, yeah, thank you for supporting us, for letting us go there. So thank you.
Hello, I'm Kaylee, and I think 2 words to describe this gathering were life-changing. Every night when all of the 33,309 of us gathered at the Dome, seeing everybody like praising and like worshiping the same God all together was just so great, and it makes me like think of how really blessed we are by God's grace. And I felt God saying, go be the friend and disciple I want you to be throughout your life, and be the peacemaker that all the underdogs need you to be for them, and work for justice to make things right, or keep them right. Over the humid, hot week, as everyone else has said, it was really hot. We just had so many like challenges and so many great things happen to everybody, and we all just like grew our faith together and had such a great time through it all. And I'm really grateful and thankful for this, because it was just so much fun, and all of our faiths grew stronger, and it was wonderful. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Kelsey. The day before I went to New Orleans, I was really excited to go because I was thinking it was going to be nice and warm and hot there, and then I got there and I was thinking, why did I want to go here? And so, but as the days went on, I realized that it didn't really matter what the weather was. It mattered that I was there making a change and growing closer with God and all the other people around me. When we went to the 9th Ward, I was so shocked about how much damage was still there. Like after so long, there was still so much damage there. And when we went around and we talked to all the people, I realized that it wasn't just helping them, it was like hearing their stories and hearing how much stuff they went through and how much they had to go through to still be here. And one of the project that I did was going around and helping people with their recycling bins and asking them if they wanted trees planted around. And it really shocked me that they didn't even have their own recycling bins, and that people just go around and they steal them. So we put their address on them, and so they could have their own recycling bin. And at the end of the trip, I realized that it wasn't just us helping them. They actually helped me, because I heard all their stories and I realized just how lucky I was to have a house like I do, and to have a congregation like I do, and to have a family like I do.
First of all, I want to say that I have never experienced such a crowd, and I have never taken part in such a huge gathering. There were more than 33,000 people, but together with your kids and your leaders, I could feel that I'm the part of the group, so I wasn't afraid of getting lost. And God has showered us with blessings, because nobody got lost, nobody got sick, nobody was pickpocketed, or nobody was hurt. So we were really lucky. The things that I have learned, there are 3 major things that I have learned. That you are never too young and never too old to make a change. Or rather, you are never too young or never too old to allow God to change you, to give God the permission to change you and to make a difference. We have been listening to different testimonies, And there was a young girl who traveled to Africa, and she simply helped people. She was there to comfort them, to show her compassion. There was a lady in her late 50s who opened her house to kids in Los Angeles, as I remember, yes. And she was there to be a kind of mother to them, to advise them, to give them advice, to share her love. So making changes is not about big things. It's about small things that you do to each other. The second thing that I have learned is that God believes in you. It's not only we who believe in God, but if God calls you to do something, and God calls you to do a task, He will give you a strength and power, and He will guide you, and He will be with you to change. He believes in you. And I have been watching your people, and I have been amazed by their willingness to help people in New Orleans. Just like Brittany mentioned, we went to the ninth ward and we talked to people there. And your youth were so open and so talkative, and you could really see that they wanted to help people. They put love into action. It was about doing things, not only about talking. What I like very much about this gathering, it was emphasizing that you need to do something. You need to get involved. So my prayer for my youth and for you is that you could get involved in your congregation, your work here. And the third thing that I've learned, there, as Brittany mentioned, these people there in New Orleans, even though they experienced hardships, they wanted to go back because they were rooted there. And they had the feeling of belonging there. They identified themselves with this place. And one day, when we were walking through ninth ward, we noticed this abandoned house with no door and broken windows. And there was a sign inside of the house, "Roots run deep here." These people were rooted there. And they didn't want to go there. They didn't want to leave their houses. So my prayer is for me and for you, is to have this kind of feeling that you belong here, that you feel good in your congregation, that you feel that you have to stay here and you want to work here. But before starting work, you have to be rooted in Christ. These people were rooted in their place, and we need to have this foundation, this cornerstone. So first, you have to start making changes in yourself and feel that you're grounded in Christ. And then you can change the world, just as we were singing. I know that I was supposed to talk only about New Orleans, but I want to say that these things that I have noticed in New Orleans, I have also learned here. First of all, you believed in us. You gave us the chance to go there. You believed in us that we deserve the chance to see these people, to listen to testimonies. And you have started the process of changes in us. Maybe you may not see them right away, but it's a process. And God promised that if He sends His word, He will fulfill His promise in us. And third, you gave me the feeling of belonging. As we were having this barn party, there was a song played, "This is Home." And that was just the moment. People were laughing, were playing, were talking, were eating, dancing. But you gave me this was the moment I felt at home. So I'd like to thank you for everything you have done for us, to us, this 3 weeks. It was like that, but it was great to be among you, to be part of your congregations, We are no longer strangers and aliens, but that we are citizens with you in Christ.
Okay. I'm Shelby. I go to Milwaukee Lutheran in Milwaukee, and I feel so lucky to come on this trip, just like everyone else back there. We all just feel really fortunate to be able to have the opportunity to go here, or to go to New Orleans. And this experience for me was a really good one. I saw God in a lot of places, and I was just really reminded of how powerful God's Spirit can be, and how He can just do these, incredible things, even if they're just the smallest. They make a difference to a lot of people. And one of the things, while we were on the trip, we were just having lunch. We were at the convention center, and it was just a few of us. We were sitting on the ground just eating lunch, and this lady comes over, and she just starts talking to us, and she's just telling us basically how thankful she is here, which a lot of people were really, really thankful we were there. And she then started telling us about her son and how he had been involved with some gun problems, and how he'd come home one day and he had shot himself. And she basically said that he was okay, but she was just like, he doesn't look like a kid who would, shoot himself. He's not that type of kid, but he's just made some bad choices. And her son was 13 at the time. And so then she's telling us about how him and his dad were doing this dance routine. And earlier in the day, we had passed these people, and they were doing this dance routine, and they were the people covered in silver, and they had the cool hip-hop moves. And that was her son, and that was her husband. And so she said that her son was on the phone with her just a few minutes ago, saying how he felt our presence, and how he felt God's presence, because he was just standing on a sidewalk with about 60 of us, and knowing that we were all there for the same purpose, and we were all there to worship God and to bring His message to everyone that we had come in contact with. And she basically thanked us for changing her son, because he said that after he felt our presence, that he truly knew that he could make a difference and he could do something with his life too. And she said a really funny thing. It was she said that we were teenagers and we were out here in a totally new place where we had never been, and we were changing her life and changing others. And she said, "I'm 37 years old. If you teenagers can do it, then I can do it too." And to me, that basically made my week, because if one person was just that affected by the gathering, then I just think of all the other people who I didn't get to meet who were affected. And I just want to say thank you for giving me this opportunity and for giving me that experience.
Thank you. Yes, it was hot there. Yes, it was very humid. I shouldn't be complaining because I wore pants and a leather fedora every day I was there. So, although it was very nice there, it was great to see all the sights there and all the people that came for the experience that I did not expect to see all of them in unison singing in the Superdome, as was soon called the Lutherdome by almost everyone there. But it was such a great experience to see the hospitality and the love all the people from New Orleans gave us, just for allowing us to stay in their city and allowing us to help them out. Seeing all the orange shirts walking around through the days and helping everyone out was a great experience, to know that we were helping everyone that we could. And going down to the 9th Ward, all the hope we saw there, all the people who came back after the flood, it was amazing to see, because they had raised houses to keep future floods out of the way. They tried to survive as long as they can, and lots of the people we talked to there said they would come back if it ever happened again and try to keep their life going.
Cześć, jestem Marta.
Hi, I'm Marta.
Jestem z Polski.
I'm from Poland.
I know that my English is not so good, but I also would like to say something. So I'm really thankful that I can spend this time in New Orleans. It was an amazing time for me. I really enjoyed it, and it realized me how great is our God. And the gathering also shows me how important it is to practice our faith and from now I would like to make all my steps in my life with Jesus. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Anya, I'm from Poland. I just want to say that the days I spent at the youth gathering were unforgettable. I saw how people can open up and be more friendly. I saw God who loves everyone no matter who they are. New Orleans helped me to realize that tragedies do not only happen on television, but it actually happens to people in real life, and I get to see how it affects them.
Hi. What I liked the most about the trip was getting to know so many people and spending time with friends, and I think helping the people who suffered the Katrina hurricane.
For those of you who don't know me, I am Nikki Obracker. I liked going to this gathering. It was my first gathering. I felt spiritually changed. And what really caught my eye was when we went to the 9th ward. We saw, as Ava said, there was a special house that had a sign in there that said, "Roots run deep here." But when I was with the stenciling group, I was asking people if they wanted their address spray painted on their garbage can. And we went by this one house, and this woman said, "I saw you guys on TV, and I thought you guys would never come to the 9th ward." I felt so touched. I wanted to cry, honestly. Besides the heat, it was really hot there. I really liked the gathering. I loved being in the Superdome. I felt God really wanted us to be there. And I think that we can all make a difference. We can all make a change. And I think it's never too late.
Hi, my name is Arek. Yesterday I was wondering what should I say here, what should I say about my experiences in New Orleans. I had a huge problem because I didn't know which things, thoughts or ideas were the most important. Fortunately, I gathered some thoughts to share with you. At the beginning, shortly something about New Orleans. I've never been to such a huge, breathtaking, hot, humid, and stinky in some places city. And what's more, the thing which amazed me a lot was French quarters. I didn't expect that you have such old buildings here because your country is so young. And another thing which surprised me was this Superdome filled with 33,000 young Lutherans. It was an amazing experience to sing, to pray together. You might don't know that in Poland there is only 70,000 Lutherans across all Poland. This is our population. So I was in the place where there was 30,000 youths. It's kind of a great feeling. When I was preparing for today, I read one of the questions which Lisa had given us. And the question was, what message did you feel like God was sending to you? So, there was something like that. During the evening worship, it was on Tuesday, we were listening to a testimony of a young woman who devoted her life to serving God. She was talking about practicing discipleship in her story, as well as another during that evening, made me stronger. Because in my life, I have to make an important decision about what I will do in the future. And it's going to be a huge change in my life. At the end, I would like to thank you for the opportunity being here with you in your congregation, and for the opportunity being in that city, I mean New Orleans, and having such a great time with my friends here. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Marta, and I'd like to thank you all of you for the opportunity that we can be here together and that we could go together to New Orleans. It was a really great chance for us to go there and also to make really good friends. And it was really incredible experience, and as I said, when we were in Superdome filled with over 33,000 people, and everyone had different colors of t-shirts, and someone said that we looked like a bowl of Skittles, like with Skittles. So it was really nice, and we had a dance which we were taught every day, and it was really amazing looking at 33,000 people who jumped at the same time, and we could feel it. It was really nice experience. And another thing was, as it was said, that we visited the Ninth Ward, and we had a chance to see what had happened over there, and I had the feeling that sometimes I take things for granted, that I have everything, that I should have everything, but actually I should be thankful for every day that God gives me things. I wish we, because in Poland we also have some kinds of gathering, but it's not so big as we experience in New Orleans. But this is kind of different because we only have worship, lectures, different workshops, but we don't go to the community and we don't serve. So I wish we can start something like this. So not only take things for our own, but also share with other people. So thank you very much.
With 16 inches less hair. I donated it to Locks of Love at the gathering, and it was a really cool experience. At the gathering in the Dome, we heard a new take on an old story. In Matthew 14, Jesus walked across the water to the disciples, and they were terrified and thought he was a ghost. And he said, "Courage, it is I, do not be afraid." Peter spoke up and said, "Lord, if it is you, command me to come to you across the water." Jesus said, "Come." Peter started to walk across the water towards Jesus when he noticed the strong winds and became frightened. He began to sink in the water and cried, "Lord, save me." Jesus immediately reached out his hand and helped him up. He then said, "You of little faith, why do you doubt?" Peter didn't doubt God. He knew that God's power could achieve anything. He doubted himself. As humans, we do that a lot. We think that we can never possibly fulfill God's plan. We're too small, too weak, too human. Believing in God's power is only half of what we need to change the world. We need to believe in ourselves as well. As soon as we're convinced that we can't do it, we won't. To truly follow Christ, we need to take the risks of doing so. At the gathering, it was easy to think that you could change the world. With 33,309 Lutheran youth surrounding you, it's easy to feel God's presence. But when we all spread out back home, it seems less probable. We get back to our regular routine, and God is stored in a box in the back of our minds. We leave all of the hard stuff to other people because we feel alone. Instead of taking up our cross and following him, we begin to question him. We see suffering all around us and ask God, "How can you let this happen?" I wonder how often God wants to ask us the same question. How can we let this happen? He says, hey, I need you. Get out there and do something about it. As followers of Christ, we are called to take on the risks of following him, to tackle the obstacle of human nature, break down barriers, and bring God's light to the darkest parts of our world.
There's